Hello and welcome to another edition of Word in the Burg, our monthly topical talk show about all things that matter to Harrisburg and the region. I'm your host, Mayor Eric Pappenfuss, and today we have two very distinguished guests. We have our Parks and Recreation Director, Mr. Kevin Sanders. Hello, Kevin. Welcome.
Hello.
And we have H. Edward Black of H. Edward Black and Associates, which is our consulting firm working on the master plan for Reservoir Park. Ed, good to see you.
Nice to see you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Well, today's topic is all things city parks and recreation. And we're going to start with you, Kevin, because I believe extended through the end of the month, our youth can still apply right now to work for the city of Harrisburg. Can you give me a little update on the job search and what's available?
Yes, we are still currently looking for site coordinators or site leaders, recreational assistants, pool staff, which will inquire to be pool managers, pool lifeguards, front desk specialists, and pool monitors as needed.
That's great. So quality summer jobs, and what do they pay?
Our pay generally starts about minimum wage all the way up to about $15 an hour. It's always based on experience as well as educational background and different things that one may be able to bring to the program as well.
And what are you looking for? What is an ideal candidate from your perspective?
Ideal candidate is an individual who is strong-willed, bright, the ability to learn, the ability to teach, but also the ability to learn as far as learning from other people, but also being a fair individual and somebody who's going to have a great attitude at work.
Good. I know some people come back from previous years, but where is there the most demand? Where do we really need to try and recruit people?
We do need a lot of pool help. A lot of times across the country, lifeguarding hasn't been what it was 20 years ago. The job just isn't as appealing to kids anymore. A lot of kids want to work inside. They don't necessarily want to be outside working, getting a tan or getting too hot. So a lot of kids don't necessarily work at the pools like they used to. So we do, each year we've everywhere struggles with getting quality lifeguards and kids that really love the pool. It's hard. They want to go to the pool. They don't necessarily want to work at the pool.
Yeah, and in order for everybody to go to the pool and enjoy the pools, we do need people working the pools. But so if folks are watching this right now, you can apply till the end of April. Is that right?
Yes.
And how many jobs in all are we looking to hire for the summer?
Probably an upward round of close to 90. If we get to full capacity, it could go higher because we do anticipate a large amount of children at the playgrounds.
Yeah.
And we need more. We did add a little bit more staff requests this year, and we're hoping to get that full amount of recreational assistants.
Okay, and if folks are watching this at home, or maybe parents or grandparents are watching it and they know somebody who might be perfect for applying for this position, can you give some just general hints about the interview process? I know you were conducting interviews today, you've been conducting them, you will continue to conduct them between now and the end of the month. If I'm looking to apply for a job at the city, what should I expect? How should I come to the interview? What types of questions might I receive?
We're asking anywhere about 10 to 12 general questions. As it pertains to park and rec or different life situations that may happen, some things about them as an individual, time management skills, people skills, the ability to think on their own, and the ability to make a snap decision, but the correct decision. There's not always necessarily a right or wrong decision, but sometimes you have to make a decision without an adult,
okay.
Where a young recreational assistant or even a young lifeguard needs to make that decision.
Okay, so 90 jobs available right now at the city of Harrisburg for pool attendants and summer counselors and you name it, all involved in our summer programming, in our parks system for this summer. That sounds great. Good luck, and I hope people out there will apply. There's still time. Another fascinating thing that is going on right now that we wanted to talk to the public about is that we are in the process of doing a master plan for our sort of crown jewel of the park system, and that is Reservoir Park. This is a park which everyone in the city feels connected to, but we feel could be reimagined and incorporate some of the best aspects of its long history and maybe some new and exciting things. And we're joined by Ed Black. And Ed, I think first of all, we should say that there is going to be a public meeting. It is coming up, this will be now our third public meeting. It's going to be coming up on April 26th, I believe.
Correct.
At the Transcend Church, which is in the 1800 block of State Street. It'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. And we'd love the public to come out and share your thoughts. This will not be the last meeting. There will be at least another meeting sometime over the summer, but it's your opportunity to come out and talk about what you like about Reservoir Park, what you'd maybe like to see differently about the park, and to get involved in the process. So, Ed, you're here in part to sort of fill us in a little bit on where we stand in the process. I know there have been several meetings. There have been a lot of concepts and feedback already. So how about a sneak peek? What are you hearing? What are you hearing from the public?
Okay, well, first of all, Mayor, we've had boots on the ground also. We've been all over the park. Reservoir Park is about 90 acres, the biggest piece of contiguous green space in the city of Harrisburg. We're very proud to be working on that. We have been doing some studies, like you can see over my shoulder here, on slope analysis, soils, things like that are important to the development. We've had a lot of public input sessions. I have personally conducted key person interviews of corporate people around the city. We got good input from those sessions and even some offers of help. And so we have presented a master plan to a focus group the Wednesday evening before Easter. We got some good comments. Kevin was there. We will then be presenting that master plan again on April 26th at Transcend Church, as you said. So that's where we are at this point. We are getting out of the analysis stage, and we are solidly into the design stage.
Okay. And what would people expect if they come to the meeting here coming up at the Transcend Church? What would they expect? Are they going to see, how are they going to be able to interact and give their feedback?
We will make a presentation of the plan where it is to date, and then we're going to outright ask them for input. What do they think of the various uses? And the input that we're getting from going around the city and talking to people and having them come to us has been a mix of classic uses that they know from the days gone by in the park. We're also getting kind of avant-garde suggestions like pump tracks for bicycles, disc golf games, and things like that. So it's been pretty exciting trying to meld all of those uses together. And so we're working hard at it. One of the things that I'm proudest of is we're trying to sever some of the old circulation patterns and make it a pedestrian-oriented park to the interior. We will bring automobiles into the perimeter of the park, get people on foot, and then it will be a safe park for them.
Right. I'm sure safety is key. I'm sure additional amenities. What are some of the other concepts of the master plan so far that people will get to hear about if they come out and listen?
Well, we're going to have some traditional uses such as basketball, which is a very important facility in the city. We're proposing a dog park. We are going to have lots of walking trails. There is a philanthropic group that is interested in rehabilitating the four-figure fountain at the top of the park. We're going to add some water experiences for the kids. We're going to add some additional tot lot areas so that we have more than just the one that's by the pavilion now. We're going to do some creative thinking about uses that will generate some income within the park, maybe a restaurant, maybe a bed and breakfast, maybe spots for food trucks, for special events at the amphitheater, and things such as that.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Very exciting. Now, I know people at home are probably thinking, boy, that's gonna cost a lot of money. So how do you address that? I mean, and I also hear this a bit too, why do we need a master plan at all? Why can't we just, go straight into creating new amenities?
Well, the master plan is very important in just the financial aspect, Mayor, that you alluded to.
Right.
You put your best thinking together now. You develop a plan, which is the roadmap for growth till the park is completed. And it will take time. It will take several years to complete the entire thing. But there are programs for grants. Hopefully the city will budget some money. Hopefully some agencies will step up and give some assistance. There will be donations, opportunities for donations, I should say, and things like that, that it will be done a phase at a time, and we'll work through it.
And really the key to at least unlocking grant funding is you've got to have the master plan in place first.
Yes, that's correct.
You're not going to be competitive unless you have that in advance of your asks. And I can also say the city has already started to put money away. Just this past month, the city took $150,000 from an insurance settlement regarding an artifact at the National Civil War Museum and put that in the special revenue fund for the future development of Reservoir Park. We're also in current negotiations with the Civil War Museum to perhaps transfer more of the collection of artifacts from the city to the museum and use those proceeds to help fund some of these great ideas. So we're thinking about financially how we can make this happen, and all of this will come after the master plan. So I'm excited, and I know there's also a plan for a dog park that Friends of Midtown is working with the Vartan group on for the sort of Maclay 6th and 7th Street area. So we could have we could go from no dog parks in the city of Harrisburg to 2 in different regions in a short period of time. I think that's exciting with all the dog owners that we have.
They're very popular.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Kevin, back to you. Before we talk about some of our other parks and playgrounds, let's talk about what's happening at the band shell. People may have heard that we put some money aside this year to refurbish the band shell. It's a favorite place. Everyone sort of looks at that symbolically as a great part of the culture of Reservoir Park. Can you just give a little update on what people see if they start to see work there?
Yes, we're trying to refurbish the floor, do some painting, reskinning, and doing a lot of wood repair around the entire structure. And that way it'll maintain the actual integrity of it being a band shell, per se, as opposed to putting something different material there. The general upkeep does need that at this point in order for it to be a more functional, used outdoor amphitheater.
Yeah, new paint, some work for the dressing rooms, and all in an effort to sort of prepare for the summer of Shakespeare in the Park, which I know is a favorite for many people. I believe it is Macbeth this year. Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah, Gamut Theater will be back. And if people come to Shakespeare in the Park, they are going to be particularly pleased to find that there's going to be a working bathroom or an actual facility for the public this year as opposed to just the porta potties. Yeah, can you explain what we decided to do there?
We used the ranger station and converted it into one bathroom.
Yeah.
For the public, for the users, for the people, so they don't have to go in the dark.
Yeah, I think that's going to be that's just a nice little bonus that I think people are going to really enjoy. So they'll come out and see that. Now, in addition to what's going on at Reservoir Park, we also have many different parks and playgrounds throughout the city. And I know that 5 of our playgrounds are currently in the process of being sort of completely reimagined. Kevin, can you talk a little bit about that? Give the public an update?
Just will be real brief in general. Sure. We're moving pretty far along with the project. We're doing a lot of different things at 5 different sites. So you will see some construction, hopefully, in the month of July.
Yeah. Are you able to list those 5 parks for the public?
The 5 that are Cloverleaf Heights, 4th and Dolphin, Penn and Sayford, Laurel and Hawley, and Rural Terrace.
And some of those parks currently, the equipment has already been taken down, and if people are wondering what's happening, it's in the process of coming back, right?
Correct. Safety issues made us actually have to speed up removing some equipment in some places.
And Ed, we're also planning a big project for Riverfront Park, which is the refurbishment of the walk, of the lower walkway. We've got a major grant there. I know your offices are along the river there on
right
Front
there.
Street, and that speaks to the City Beautiful movement, and it also speaks to the fact that a lot of basically our park system, when it was originally laid out and planned out, we're now 100 years past, and it's time for some upgrades. For Reservoir Park, when was the last time there really was any type of a comprehensive study of Reservoir Park? Do you know?
I don't think there has been a
maybe
master
there has
plan
never been one,
of
yes.
Reservoir Park since its origin in the early 1900s. But there has been some work done there. There was work done there in the 80s when the mansion was renovated and some of the facilities around the mansion were done. When the Arts Village happened, when the brownstone was renovated, when the basketball courts were renovated. And fortunately, Reservoir Park is a heavily used park, and some of those facilities now have been worn out and need some help. Unfortunately, there's been some vandalism also, so that creates a need for some renovations also.
Absolutely. Are the artist colony areas in the brownstone, are they going to be incorporated into the master plan? Are there
Yes,
plans
indeed.
to sort of build on that legacy? Any other ideas for new construction or additional amenities?
The current idea and thinking on the Arts Village is to renovate the structures that are there. They have some grade problems. Water's been a problem to them. And then we're looking next door at the brownstone, maybe making that some kind of cafe where people could get food, drinks, things like that. But the Art Association seems to be very much in favor of keeping the Arts Village there.
Yeah. Oh, that's fascinating. Yeah, and they do a great job with all of their programs. And I guess historically for Reservoir Park, the public should know it really did serve as a reservoir, right? For and still does.
Still
it's just
does.
that the water is somewhat hidden. As the high point in the city, basically all the water flows to all of our neighborhoods via Reservoir Park.
That's right. And some of that activity will be portrayed in interpretive signage in the park. The area behind the National Civil War Museum is really what regulates the pressure in the city's water system.
Yeah.
So, it's still a very important part of the city of Harrisburg's water system.
Right, and I think prior to the construction of that reservoir, we were much more dependent on the river, and the City Beautiful movement
Correct.
sort of transformed all of that into a modern water supply, and that speaks a bit to Capital Region Water. I assume they've been good partners in the process.
They have been, and we're in touch with them, and they're going to do a couple of studies on security for the water system and on how to better use the high-pressure reservoir and things like that. And there'll be studies that they're going to care for.
That's great. That's fascinating. Okay, Kevin, any final words of advice to people watching this, or anything else you'd like to let people know about the Parks and Rec Department?
Our biggest goal right now is to get more community engagement for Reservoir Park. We'd like to see more of the park users, but also the people who live around the park actually come out to the meeting, express different ideas, different things with travel, whether it's foot travel or vehicle travel, just to kind of give some actual firsthand input. We believe that that's one of the most important parts of this whole process, is getting the community involved, really getting the community to buy into the overall project and seeing the longevity for themselves as well as others.
Good. And if people can't make the meeting on the 26th, is there a way to submit input? Is there a website? Should they do that through the city website? What's the best way to reach you, Ed, as the person?
They can be in touch with me at my office, or they can call 233-1026.
Fantastic. That couldn't be much easier than that.
Right.
That's great. Any final thoughts from you as to what you're hoping for this meeting here on April 26th?
We're hoping to get a good turnout. We're hoping to get a lot of good input. We want to start really finalizing the master plan. And so everybody who has an interest should be there.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that's the moral of today. We hope everyone watching gets involved, comes on out, and participates in the master plan for Reservoir Park, feels connected to our ever-improving park system, which really unites all of our neighborhoods and is something in which we can all be very proud. And we also hope if you're out there and looking for summer employment, you'll consider working for the city. 90 jobs await you. You can apply via the city anytime in the month of April and be a part of all the good summer programming that we have planned, and we'll have more on that in future editions of Word in the Burg.
We really need the community's input on great things that we want to see in the park. The meeting is going to be April 26th at the Transcend Church on 1801 State Street, 6 to 8. We'll have food and drinks provided. The community voice is very important. This is your park. This is our park. We want to make this place better, and we want everybody to be involved.